So, Story of the Fight listeners, we have a real treat today. We have a true pioneer of the sport, UFC, The Ultimate Fighter, Season 1 alum. We have Chris, the Crippler Leben, with us today. Chris, thank you for joining us.
What up? Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
I can't tell you enough, just how excited we are to be talking to you. We're huge fans. Will, I know you've been following Chris yourself for a very long time.
Definitely. A big part of why I got into the sport, if I'm being honest.
Sweet.
For sure. So I guess we could just get going and ask you right away, Chris. So how's the training coming along for your February 5th bout?
It's going, man. I'm a couple weeks out now, 2.5 weeks out, and I'm still healthy. No real injuries, but been training hard every day. So, I mean, that's pretty good, considering my advanced age. Usually by this time, things are starting to give out on me. My neck's messed up, my back, I hurt my hand. But surprisingly, I've managed to keep everything healthy, so it's all good.
Awesome. It's gonna be in Florida, right?
Yes.
Yeah. When do you think you're gonna head out there and get kind of acclimated?
I'm gonna fly out. So the fight is February 5th in Tampa, which is a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Then obviously the Super Bowl's the 7th in Tampa on Sunday.
Oh shit.
So Tampa's going to be a little nuts, and because of that, they're actually flying me out a day earlier than normal, which will be that Tuesday.
Okay.
Which is better for me anyways, gives me a little more time to get rid of the jet lag, get acclimated.
Yeah, definitely.
And get away from, family and everything else. As much as I love them, it's good to be out there and just be in a fight zone.
Yeah, definitely. Are you still pursuing being a referee?
I am. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my goal. My goal is to rep professionally out here in California and judge. I was real active, repping and judging, a couple weekends a month for the last, several years, probably 3-4 years at least, until about 9 months ago.
Yeah when everything kind of shut down.
Everything pretty much just slammed on the brakes. Yeah
That's awesome. With the judging as well, I think we've talked about it plenty of times on the podcast as well. When we say we need some fighters in there that know what's going on. We see a lot of this judging coming through as of late, where it just leaves a bunch of question marks after the fight.
No, I hear you, man. And what I can say about that is not all states are created equal.
Yeah.
Not all countries are created equal when it comes to their selection process for referees and judges, the criteria that those people have to meet. In California, you got two options. You can pass Herb Dean's course, or you can pass Big John McCarthy's course.
Oh, wow.
Both of them are extremely difficult. I think I'm pretty sure I might have been the only guy that actually passed out of the group that I was with. They both do 2 courses a year, and I know John will only pass 2 people, and everybody else, you'll get a certificate of completion or whatever, but you will not have successfully passed. I mean, it's tough, as well. It should be, because I think with those 2 jobs come, great responsibility. I mean, if you're a referee, you're talking about, the health of the fighter, along with their career. And if you're a judge, this is somebody's life's ambition. This is their career. It's not time for you to be looking at your cell phone or talking to somebody else. When I'm judging a fight, everybody knows, do not talk to me,
Yeah.
I have a system so that I don't even have to look down at my paper. I have a way of taking notes so that I never have to take my eyes off the fight, because I don't want to blink. I don't want to miss anything, and if you're not taking those 2 jobs that seriously, maybe you should find a different one.
Yeah, I agree. So what's next then in that trajectory of becoming like a professional referee in California? What's left on that like checklist?
Well, it's really up to CSAC. Obviously, coveted job.
Yeah,
A lot of people that want it. I know referees that have been trying for years to get on board. I mean, who doesn't want to referee Bellator and the UFC? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Unfortunately, there's people out there that I think have the wrong reasons. But nonetheless, there's a lot of people out there that have the right reasons and are highly qualified. So, they really are able to handpick who it is they want. So, having said that, I continue to do the best job that I possibly can for Camo, which is the amateur martial arts out here in California. Hopefully they'll see me waving my hand pretty soon and they'll pick me up. I mean, that is, as I understand it, that's pretty much how it works. I'm on their radar. They know.
yeah,
I've talked to them. They've talked to me. So, it's probably not. Obviously, when you're actively fighting, it's definitely a conflict of interest.
yeah. I can see that.
Which is one of the reasons initially I really wanted to retire, was because I wanted to pursue a career in repping, but having not had much of anything going on for the last 9 months, and obviously fighting and combat sports are my passion. They have been my whole life. I want to be involved in these sports in as many facets as possible. And right now, reffing and judging just isn't an option for me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like, the BKFC guys were kind of like, hey man, one more, go, get out on a W, start working for so I'm like, all right, man, let's do it.
Yeah, well,
So
since reffing and all that, has that changed your like perspective or your mindset on fighting? Has that like altered your lens, I guess?
I have a different lens.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is, if you ask me how I saw a fight as a cornerman, I'm going to tell you one thing. If you ask me how I saw a fight as a referee, I'm going to tell you another thing. If you ask me as a referee how I'd score the fight, I tell you, I don't know. That wasn't what I was looking at. And as a judge, if you ask me, was that illegal? I'm going to say that was the ref's call, not mine. I was too busy watching the score. So different hats, different hats.
Sense.
So I would say, as a person, it doesn't change. As a coach, I'm going to tell a fighter something. As a rep, I tell him something else. And as an athlete, I have my own personal beliefs.
That's cool. Yeah, I can see that. That definitely makes sense. I know you spent a lot of time in like Hawaii and everything. Were you able to watch Max Holloway yesterday?
Oh my God! What a performance!
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
Both my hats off to both those guys.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm gonna forget his name now. Dang it.
Cater.
Yeah. Dude, the fact that he made it all 5.
Yeah.
I think Max attempted like 600 and some odd strikes.
Yeah.
Landed like over half of them. It was incredible.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it.
Yeah. The freshman came to play.
That's what he said. Yeah, freshman gonna come take your girl. Who do you? Is there anybody that like stands out to you as like somebody who you love to like watch and like will make time to watch whenever they fight?
Definitely Holloway. He's definitely one of those guys. I remember that kid from way back in the day in Hawaii when he was like 17 or something like that, 16, wow. Fighting. And I mean, there's several other guys. Obviously, I'm real excited to watch Dustin Poirier. Come. This next weekend, right?
Yeah,
already.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. So versus Connor, and I don't bet, but I might try to call a fight here and there. And I'll tell you what, I'll never go against Connor, because he's proved me wrong too many times.
Same. Same.
I do like Poirier though, so we're gonna. I'm excited to see that one play out. That's for sure.
Yeah, that one's got a lot of eyes on it. We see this last Holloway fight, like you said, I think he broke the record with attempted strikes with like 740 or something like that. And we see like MMA, I know, right? We see MMA continue to like evolve and completely change from what it was just 5 years ago. And if we're gonna switch to like bare knuckle boxing and everything like that, that's kind of still in its infancy. Do you see that kind of evolving in a similar way that MMA has? And if so, what do you think is going to be some key things that make a difference there?
I do. I feel like it's a phenomenal sport, and it is still in its infancy. It really does. You do kind of have that feeling of like the UFC back in the beginning when you're like, this shit really legal or not? You know what I mean? And there's that appeal to it, I think also for not just the extreme martial arts fan, but I think for the kind of recreational combat sports fan, bare knuckle makes a lot of sense, man, because you might not understand what's going on when you watch two high-level jiu-jitsu guys, compete go tit for tat on the ground.
Yeah.
But listen, everybody understands a fist fight. You know what I mean? You take those gloves off, you start, well, shit, he's leaking from his nose and his eye. I know who's winning, the guy that's not leaking everywhere, and I think there's that appeal, and it has that raw feeling about it that the UFC really used to have in the beginning,
Yeah, well, when you fought when you fought Phil Baroni and you hit him early and he started kind of shooting for takedowns, I was like, man, this is a mad, like, wild sport. This is cool.
It was, yeah. And here the sport, was just really, I think it was only legal in Wyoming at that time. Maybe Mississippi. I can't remember, but, I was, the last fight, and I'm warming up in the hallway, and every single fight, not one, but both guys are coming back and they're just leaking, but it was like, I felt like I was like backstage at a Civil War med tent, and these guys are just limping in with bullet holes. And I mean, and I was thinking like, what the was I thinking, like what did I get myself into?
Well, Chris, I know that we're pressed for time here. So before we let you go here, is there anything that you want to shout out? Anything you want to promote?
Hey, I think it's Crippler MMA on Twitter or on Instagram and then Twitter, follow me on all that stuff. Big fight, Paige is going to be fighting on the same card February 5th. So just a couple weeks. If you guys don't have the bare knuckle site, you can, it's like $3.99 a month, and there's a link on my my social media for that. I think I get a nickel if you guys sign up off my social media, so please do.
Right on. Well, we'll be blasting it out, of course, and trying to have everybody sign up through your social media, man. I can't tell you again how much it means to us, because we know you're a busy guy, for you to come on and talk to us. And if you don't mind hanging out just a couple seconds after we sign off, is that cool?
That's cool. That's
awesome.
Cool.
Well, Will, do you have anything else?
Nope, that's it.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Story of the Fight.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.